like that is in here with me. This ain't a diss song. It's a legacy.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Packernet Podcast. I am your host and resident fanalist, as always, Ryan Schlip. Check us out online, packernet.com. Find me on Twitter, pack_daddy. I'm a little fired up today. I've been working on that song for a while. Full song at the end, by the way. Stick around. I'm freaking fired up, man. I'm a little upset. We spent so much time whining, but that's fine. It's fine. It means today we can just get jacked up all day. You know, all I could think about today was what I've been saying, maybe not recently, but the first half of the season and prior to the beginning of the season, there was a semi-regular mantra. And that's essentially, and especially when Malik was kind of playing and everything else, we don't know how the end of the season's going to go, and we don't know what kind of team is going to show up when we get to the playoffs. So the only thing we need to do is win. The only thing we need to do is get in. That's it. Then it's go time. That's when the season starts for the big boys. And that's what today is. Forget the rest of that bull crap. Forget it. You can forget the Malik days, the beginning of the season. You can forget the hot streak. You can forget the last two games. Forget all of it. I don't have any idea what the Packers are going to be like today. But once in a very, very, very rare while, do we as Packer fans get the opportunity, maybe not as rare as most teams, but still, let's call it once a year, do we get the rare opportunity to cheer for our team who has a legitimate shot in the playoffs to win just a handful of games and get to the big show? That's all it is. Is it going to be hard? Of course it's going to be hard. For every team in the playoffs, it's going to be hard. But one team is going to overcome it. They're going to beat a handful of teams in front of them, and they're going to hoist the Lombardi Trophy. I'm not even going to play the why not us card. Why not us? Who gives a crap? This isn't some underdog story. You're in the playoffs, and for good reason. You had more than what it took to get into the playoffs. We had that locked up a long time ago. Now it's just about putting the best of what you got on display. It's just about show up and beat the team in front of you mercilessly. We know the formula. You did it last year on the road in Dallas, 7.5-point underdogs. Beat them over and over and over and over again. This is the all gas, no break moment. As much as you may have wanted to see it week 3 or week 7 or week 18, this is the moment you put your foot down as hard as you can on the gas and you don't let up. We're about to hit something. Great. Ride right through it. Do not take your foot off the gas. I don't care. You spend so much freaking time thinking about how we're probably not going to win. It's unlikely that we win. Less than a 50% chance that we win. The more negative you are, the lower the chance is. Why are you spending so much time? Why are we spending so much time talking about that? This is what we waited for. This is it. More than half of the league is going to sit at home and watch as the Packers move on to the playoffs. Guess how many people are going to choose not to watch it because they know who's going to win? 0. Listen, beat the Eagles, beat the Lions, beat the Vikings. You're in the Super Bowl. That's it. I know, they're good teams. I get that. 3 games. Win 3 games. Beat the Eagles, beat the Lions, beat the Vikings. I'm not going to predict an easier path for you. That's your path. Beat those teams. I mean, you know you're playing the Eagles. You know you're playing the Lions. Then it just kind of comes down to Washington, Tampa, LA, Minnesota. You want me to predict off the top of my head real quick? Tampa beats Washington. Minnesota beats LA. Minnesota beats Tampa. Be a wild NFC championship because you'd have 2 NFC North teams and you'd have the 5 and 7 seed. It would be 2 wild card teams. Would it be all that surprising, though, considering how strong the wild card is this year? No, it's never happened before. I don't give a crap. What has happened before? How many times have you seen an 11-win team, a 14-win, and a 15-win team in one division? When have you seen a wild card as strong as Minnesota, Washington, and Green Bay? Is the answer never? Should we do the AFC? It's not nearly as fun. I'm going to say Buffalo wins, even though I have my doubts. Baltimore and the Chargers beat the Texans. You already know some of this. I haven't seen the games yet today. Doesn't matter. Chiefs, Chargers. I'm so sorry. Chiefs are going to win that game. Baltimore, Buffalo. I think Baltimore wins that game. Baltimore's too scary. Baltimore, Kansas City. Listen, it's in our best interest that the Chiefs win anyways, and I kind of think that that's what's going to happen. Why? Because it's the freaking Chiefs, man. But here's the deal. Guess who wins the Super Bowl against the Chiefs? The Packers win the Super Bowl against the Chiefs. That's what happens. All right? Boom. Done. Over. Wrap it up. On February 11th, we get to sit home and watch the Green Bay Packers hoist the Lombardi Trophy. And 2 months later, we get to watch the NFL Draft, where the Green Bay Packers will pick 32nd, and Roger Goodell will walk out and say, with the 32nd pick, the Super Bowl champion Green Bay Packers, as the crowd erupts. I want to play this for you. Compliments to, I forget who sent this. Oh, it's Goose. Yeah, Goose sent this to me. I want to play this for you. For those non-believers, of which there are many. Here is Step Down Sports on TikTok.
For 2 years in a row, I've correctly predicted the NBA champion using a formula, so now it's time to predict the Super Bowl champion. My first requirement for the 2025 Super Bowl champion is to at least have a plus 50-point differential in the regular season. Over the course of history, 56 out of the 58 Super Bowl champions have all met this requirement, which makes it very likely that this year's will too. This eliminates 3 teams, which includes the Texans, Rams, and Steelers. The next criteria is being top 15 in total passing offense. 14 out of the last 15 champions have met this requirement as the passing game has taken over the league. This requirement eliminates the Commanders, Chargers, Broncos, and Eagles. My third requirement is to not be bottom 10 in total passing defense. 22 out of the last 25 champions have met this requirement, which is almost 90%. This eliminates a staggering 5 teams, including the Lions, Vikings, Bucks, Bills, and Ravens, which leaves us with only 2 teams, the Green Bay Packers and the Kansas City Chiefs. However, my final requirement is to have either a top 30 receiver or a top 30 rusher on your team, which is a requirement that every team since 2000 has met. But it's also something the Kansas City Chiefs don't have this year, which means that according to NFL history, the Green Bay Packers will be your 2025 Super Bowl champions.
Been saying one of the benefits of this Green Bay Packers team is that they're not built like a lot of other Packers teams. I understand the concern this year with, they seem to be, not showing up again, which has been the biggest issue. And there's a lot of truth in that. However, I think every other Green Bay Packers team you've looked at, one of the biggest issues they've had is that they're not very well-rounded. Usually, all we really have is a pass game. Good offensive line, good quarterback, good wide receivers, or wide receiver. Now, there's fluctuations like every single team, every offense, defense, whatever. Everybody's got some level of fluctuation. But the fact of the matter is, this is one of the best rushing Green Bay Packers teams we've seen in the last, however long. Let's just call it decade. This is one of the best defenses the Packers have had in the last decade and a half, 2 decades, whatever. Very few exceptions. That's pass defense and run defense. This is one of the best special teams units that we've had. Well, what about that one play? Shut up about the one play. Oh my Lord, worst special teams in football because of the one play. It's the best punter and kicker combination we've had in, ever. But yeah, we should definitely talk about the one play. No, but there is a uniqueness to the team. We all know that they have to show up. That's a given. Great. Got it. Good. Wonderful. Does the team have the proper components to win a Super Bowl? One of the biggest things that we've been missing is defense, and we're not missing that right now. DVOA has Green Bay's defense ranked as the 5th best defense. Philadelphia's number 1, but Green Bay's number 5. So it's not like, we're running into a wall and they're running through air. If you want a big discrepancy, I'll give you a big discrepancy. Green Bay has the 4th best offense, Philly 15th best offense. There's your discrepancy. That's even with the last 2 games mixed in. That has been added to it. When you punch that into the formula, the Packers' offense and defense goes down. At least the offense certainly did. But did they drop to 29th? Is it panic time? Or is it still a team that is top 5 in offense and defense? The only other team that is top 5 in both is Baltimore. That's it. But it's not just me. Why don't we take a break? When we come back, I'm going to show you that I'm not the only one that's excited about the Green Bay Packers. We'll take a break. I'll answer all these million text messages I'm getting over here, and we'll be right back.
All right, you want me to give you Brew's full thing? I'll give you Brew's full thing. Here's why the Packers are going to go into Philadelphia and get the win. First of all, check on these vibes lately. Not great ever since they didn't let Saquon get that get the rushing title. Secondly, Jordan Love, all he does is win round one playoff games. Walks into Dallas, gets a win. Now walks into Philadelphia, gets a win. Lastly, Nick, you're always saying you look at the coach, look at the quarterback. What coach do you trust more in this, Nick? Matt LaFleur or Nick Sirianni? And that's where I'd be like, well, I guess it's Matt LaFleur. Exactly. Yeah. That's why the Packers are going to win.
So a couple of things for clarification. That was whatever his name is. He was not speaking for himself. He was speaking for somebody else. It doesn't matter. The point is, I want to highlight a couple things here. Number one, the quote-unquote vibes. I've been talking about it all year. And we're going to hear more about this because it's like, oh, if it's so bad, then why are they playing so good? The offense in particular, which is where the issues are, right? Issues with the quarterback, wide receiver, issues with the quarterback and the coach. A lot of issues. Been hearing a lot about vibes over on that side. It's about the offense. And the offense, we talked about yesterday how gifted their offense is, maybe even more so than their defense in terms of just raw talent, is massively underperforming. But I also want to point out another thing. We had a lot of fans whining about Matt LaFleur. Anybody that has any understanding of Philadelphia, including Philadelphia Eagles fans, and anybody nationally or whatever that watches both, if you ask them, Matt LaFleur or Nick Sirianni, they're taking Matt LaFleur. It's only pissy, whiny Packer fans that are going to say, oh, LaFleur's not any good. LaFleur's not good. Nope. They don't like Sirianni. Here's a little thing I found just to kind of back this up. So Fox Sports, they put up some thing. Packers fan says, I want to choose the Packers, but they let me down all season, so blah, blah, blah. And Eagles fan chimes in. Not really relevant who it is. I just want to give you an insight into the fan base. I'm an Eagles fan, and I'm 100% going with the Packers. Not only that, but this Sunday is going to be a major battle, and I'm not sure if I know who's going to win, whatever. Then there's another comment. He says, oh, really? That's shocking. And he gives his reasons why. Here are a couple of his reasons. Number one, Philadelphia sports history. Wait, I thought the Packers are the only team that keeps losing all the time. No. And I understand they won recently, but I also know that was their only Super Bowl in their franchise history. Number two, Packers against the run. Safety who's a pick machine. Hurts is rusty. Bunch of young defenders who could crumble. Our kicker is suspect. Our coach is easily out-coached. Our edge rushers don't get home. Love has the ability to escape the rush. Now, he might just be a pissy, whiny Eagles fan, but it's important to understand that it's not all sunshine and rainbows. They got their own issues. They got a lot of stuff that the fans are looking at going, geez, man, freaking every time with these people.
With the Packers. I just think this is going to be a Jordan Love playoffs. Plus, I think the playoffs are going to be different than what we've seen all year. I think we're going to see a lot of surprises, a lot of close games in the postseason, and I think the Packers are going to go in there and win that game.
Wow, you're picking the team.
He picked
identity crisis.
He picked them to win the Super Bowl.
That's.
I don't know if I picked to win it anymore.
Not anymore, but he's still got them going.
Well, you still have them going, though?
Yep.
You still have the Packers going.
Yep.
But
Look at their losses in games that mattered, and they lost to really good teams, and they were all
haven't
close.
beaten a
But they haven't beat him,
They were
though.
all close.
0-5 against teams with 11-plus wins, including the Eagles.
All close.
All right. Pete's going with the Packers to win that game.
So there's very clearly two distinct groups of people. There's the people that like the Packers, that seem to be looking a little closer at the context, and the people that don't like the Packers that are looking at more of the broad strokes kind of things, right? I'll call it the lazy narratives. The Packers haven't beat any of the good teams. Okay, that's freaking stupid. Well, I haven't beat any 11-win teams. No, they're 14-win teams. They haven't played any 11-win teams or 12-win teams or 13-win teams. So stop acting like they played an 11-win team and lost to them. So phrasing it as, well, they haven't beaten any teams with 11-plus wins. No. They haven't beaten teams with 14-plus wins. They didn't play any teams with 11, 12, or 13-plus wins, or 13 wins. And again, 4 out of 5 were one score. Not even one score. 4 out of 5 came within 3 points. Everybody's like, oh, you should have lost that Bears game too. Okay, if we're going to be honest about this, if we're actually going to be honest and not just cherry pick, if you want to talk about the close games that could have gone either way, that was 4 out of 5 of those games. If we're calling those toss-ups, then the Packers are more unlucky than lucky. Throw the Bears game in there again if you want. So we'll do all the NFC North and the Eagles game. That was 5 points in that game, but still one score. If you're calling those coin flips, then they should have won 3 of those games. So what we're saying is they're actually unlucky, which if you're looking at it from a betting standpoint, you would look at it more favorably toward the Packers. You don't look at it negatively. Not saying that means they have to win, but I'm just saying the people that tend to look more at the context as opposed to just the broad strokes, well, they can't beat the good teams type of stuff, which is, I don't know. I don't mind picking the Eagles. I don't like the lazy analysis.
They're number one, and they're playing good. However, I'm taking the Green Bay Packers. I think they're going to keep it close and frustrate this Eagle team. And then the Eagles will start pointing fingers. Fans will start booing. Boo, you stink. There'll be a panic. 4th and 8. Go for it by Sirianni. And the Packers will somehow get the victory. 27-17.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't think it's going to be that big of a spread, but I'm also going with the Packers. I think the Packers are a damn good football team. I think they have everything you need. I know they lost their big receiver. I get that. But they got plenty of talent behind him. They really do. And I think Jordan Love proved that he can win playoff games. He played his ass off in round 1 last year and played his ass off in round 2. They lost. But listen, I think this Packers team's got a damn good defense. They got a damn good offense. I think their coach is a damn good creative play caller and game planner. And so for that reason, I think Green Bay goes in. And also, my concern earlier was Jalen Hurts coming back off being rusty as hell, off not playing for damn near a month and coming out of concussion protocol. I think the Packers win.
Yeah, the Packers looked good last week for sure.
So now we got Jay Gruden and A.Q. Shipley picking the Packers to win the game against the Eagles. And then I have no idea who this other guy is, but he chimes in and says, yeah, they lost to the Bears. Like, okay. Oh, it's Colt McCoy. Man, he looks like he's 17 years old. I was like, I don't know who this young kid is that they put on their podcast, but apparently that's Colt McCoy. But again, you got A.Q. Shipley, you got Jay Gruden picking the Packers to win. Colt McCoy says what? What's his brilliant analysis? Well, they lost to the Bears, so they suck. Okay, well, Eagles lost to the Falcons, so they suck. I mean, what? Come on. Stupid crap, man. All right, I don't know how this isn't taking... I keep looking at the time thinking we're at like 38 minutes. We're not even to 20 yet. Might be a short episode. Here is Pete Prisco. So these guys are going to go through... They're going to look at the wild card teams, and I don't even remember which ones they like better, which one has the best chance, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know. Here you go. By the way, starting from worst to best, I believe is how it goes.
Let's see. Jessica's got it.
All right.
Perfect.
Way to go.
Nice.
Way to go.
Great job.
I'm going to rank them. Jessica's number
I'm going to go 3-1 here. Commanders, been an awesome story. You're talking about who's going to go on an actual run here, though. Who's going to actually take... Kyle said it earlier with Bo Nix. We've never seen a rookie quarterback go the distance. We've seen him go to AFC championship games. Joe Flacco did it. Mark Sanchez did it. We've never seen them go the distance, though. I think they're a year away still. I think it's been an awesome story. I don't think they're going to win 3 playoff games this season. Sorry, Jamie. Vikings. It's a tough second-round matchup right there. It's a tough second-round matchup, and it could change. If the Packers or the Commanders win, they play the Lions. It could change. So I'm just saying that. But I don't know. I don't know if they're going to go all the way through this thing. If they were home for maybe. I don't know if they're going to go on the road and go do this thing. The Packers are my 1 despite being the 7. And I'm sorry my marker's a little left here. They did it last year. They went into Dallas as a 7. They beat the Cowboys. Then they gave the 49ers absolute hell and took them to the very final whistle. Their only losses this season, the Packers, are the Bears last week, which I don't even count as a game because of the way that whole thing went down. I don't know. I count it, but I'm not going to put too much credence into it. Then the Vikings, the Lions, and the Eagles. They can get their revenge, and they can do so in the grandest fashion. I still believe in the Packers, a team that I picked before the season as a wild card team to go on a run here. I think the Packers, Vikings, and then Commanders, if you're asking me to rank the three of the NFC wild card teams.
All right, well, I guess we'll take our final break and come back and take a look at a couple little key insights here into this Packers-Eagles game, and then we just stress out the rest of the day. Wait for this thing to go down. I'm watching the watching the other games. And super cool, actually, because around the time I don't know specifics. Maybe some of you guys are better at that kind of thing. Like, you know exactly what channel, what time, everything's going on. I'm looking up like, oh, crap, games are probably on. Go to Hulu, go to Live. I look and I see Ravens, Steelers. Oh, there it is. Click. I don't know which game is first. I just know those two are playing. I watched a freaking rerun for 3 hours and missed almost this entire game. I went on Twitter, and they're like, oh, man, we need to have some luck like the Texans are having. I'm like, the Texans? That game, did the game start? Like, I was kind of casually watching the game. I wasn't, whatever, I'm doing the podcast and some other stuff. And so I'm flipping through, and sure enough, like the other game must be over, I guess, because I don't see that one anymore. I click on this, and it's the fourth quarter. I'm like, why would they run them at the same time? It doesn't make any sense. You don't do that for the playoffs. And so I go and switch and look, and I'm looking, and it's like Steelers-Ravens, there's no score. It's just Texans-Chargers, 25-12. But the Ravens beat the crap out of the Steelers. Like, I watched it. I watched the whole damn game. And no, it was a rerun. Why would you do that, NFL Network? I mean, I guess the thought process is, let's run this, and then it'll finish around the time the Steelers-Ravens games will go on. That'll be super brilliant. And it just didn't occur to him that somebody like me might exist that's just flipping through and going, oh, here's the game, found it. Here you go, Steelers-Ravens are playing today, and now this thing says Steelers-Ravens, and I'm just going to click on it. I wonder if they were sitting around going, wow, I didn't expect this many viewers. Freaking stupid. It's not even a good game. I don't care about the Steelers and Ravens. Come to find out, it's like, I just feel sick to my stomach now. I just watched a Steelers-Ravens rerun for 3 hours. And it's been on mute. So it's like, what, you didn't notice? No, it's on mute. I'm doing the podcast. I can't have this thing playing while I'm doing other stuff. Oh, that's so stupid. I'm so annoyed. I wasted good thing the Texans-Chargers game doesn't seem to be doing much. By the way, I am rooting for the Steelers in that game. I'm actually kind of a little excited that the Steelers had a second chance at this. Although watching that game, I don't know how much of a chance because the Baltimore Ravens are just freaking powerhouse. But yeah, I'm rooting for the Steelers. Not because the Ravens don't deserve it. They do. But let's be honest. Number one, I don't want to face the Ravens. And number two, I'm hoping for some underdog magic. No dice for the Chargers. They weren't huge underdogs anyways. Steelers pull this off. That's the underdog magic that we need. Anyways, that was disheartening. Let's take a break, and we'll be right back. All right, a couple little insights here via Next Gen Stats. Some of the key matchups that are in favor of the Packers. Number one is pressure rate when Packers are on offense. I'd mentioned their defensive line. I mean, the pressure rate seems to be quite good as far as their individual players, but heard some other complaints already about guys not being able to get home, and sure enough, the Packers are the 10th best team when it comes to pressure rate on offense. The Eagles rank 27th in pressure rate on defense. Defensively, the pass game is in favor of the Green Bay Packers. The Eagles, as far as overall passing efficiency, rank 9th. The Packers' defense ranks 3rd. Some of the biggest advantages for the Green Bay Packers in this game, you've got passing versus pressure. Green Bay Packers rank 6th. The Eagles' defense 31st. Passing when there's no blitz. This is on the other side of things. The Eagles rank 16th on offense. The Packers' defense ranks 3rd when there's no blitz. And then passing versus pressure, The Eagles' offense is 20th. The Packers' defense is 5th. We've also got Josh Jacobs has 22 rushing touchdowns since 2022, which are second most in the NFL, behind only Derrick Henry's 41 touchdowns in that span. Derrick Henry is an absolute freak show. The Eagles averaging a league-high 2 yards before contact on desired runs this season, with their ball carriers being contacted behind the line of scrimmage on 39.7% of their carries, which is the 9th lowest. Packers defense, on the other hand, was able to hit opposing ball carriers behind the line of scrimmage at 48.8% of designed runs this season, which is the 4th highest. Is this even the Packers we're talking about? I don't even understand, man. And they allowed just 0.6 yards before contact per designed run, which is the 3rd fewest. That's crazy. The Eagles allowed the Packers to hit ball carriers behind the line of scrimmage on a season-high 58.1% of designed runs in Week 1 and gained just 13 rushing yards before contact. So Week 1 was their least impressive game running the ball. Maybe not overall stats or whatever. I don't know. I didn't look at it, not going to look at it. But as far as their ability to just dominate with offensive line and blow open holes, didn't happen against the Packers. Well, look, like I said, I thought maybe that would take longer. I don't have a whole lot else to say other than we need to get excited because this is what it's all been about. This is potentially the only chance you're going to have to cheer for the Packers in the playoffs this year. Let's enjoy the ride, all right? However long it may be, let's enjoy the ride. Oh, and of course, go Rams. I'll talk to you tomorrow. It's so crazy. I mean, it's Saturday for me, so it's kind of hard for me to wrap my head around the magnitude of it, but I'm going to talk to you tomorrow, and it's either going to be the best thing that has happened to the Packers this season, and we are going to be talking about how all bets are off now. Packers might be the best team in the NFL moving forward, which is certainly possible. I mean, if you beat the Eagles, you got the Vikings that have got their flaws, and then you got Detroit, who's got a banged-up defense, assuming that's who we're talking about. I mean, assuming those are the two teams we play. I know one of the teams we're going to play. But all they have to do is win this game, and all of a sudden, we're talking about this might be the team to pick to go to the Super Bowl. Or I'm going to talk to you tomorrow, and it's going to be somber. Packernet After Dark is going to be miserable for a month. I'm going to get a bunch of, I'll talk to you in next year texts, which are always depressing, and we move on to the offseason. It's a heavy sign-off, but have a good rest of the day, and go Pack Go.
Got Pack Daddy up in here with me. This ain't a diss song. It's a legacy. Yeah, you know what it is. I'm a cheesehead, y'all stuck in mid. Philadelphia Eagles, that's bluffing. That wild card win, that's crushing. Up in your town, when you see me, you know everything. Green and yellow, green and yellow, green and yellow, green and yellow. I put it down, representing for my team. I'm in green and yellow, green and yellow, green and yellow, green and yellow. Money green, championship gold. Jordan Love got the league on hold. This is Green Bay, where legends are made. Y'all fly south, cold leaves, y'all afraid. Rockin' G's, y'all stuck with wings. Eagles squawking, but with kings. AJ Brown, yeah, he ran his mouth. Our defense locked him, shut him out. Philly talk tough, but they ain't built. Weak foundation, crumbling guilt. We got history, that's called a dynasty. Packers fly high, y'all stuck in fantasy. Yeah, you know what it is. I'm a cheesehead, y'all stuck in mid. Philadelphia Eagles, that's bluffing. That wild card win, that's crushing. Up in your town, when you see me, you know everything. Green and yellow, green and yellow, green and yellow, green and yellow. I put it down, representing for my team. I'm in green and yellow, green and yellow, green and yellow, green and yellow. Got a call from my homie, this just in. Packers rolling, it's the Eagles in. Fly, Eagles fly, that song's on repeat. But this time in Philly, the pack brings the heat. Jalen Hurts trying to scramble around, but Gary's blitzing, turf bound. Philly crowds try, but they boo they own. Green Bay's unity stands alone. Cheeseheads loud, y'all can't compare. While Eagles fans chuck snow in despair. This ain't the NFC East, it's playoff clout. And Green Bay's here to take y'all out. Yeah, you know what it is. I'm a cheesehead, y'all stuck in mid. Philadelphia Eagles, that's bluffing. That wild card win, that's crushing. Up in your town, when you see me, you know everything. Green and yellow, green and yellow, green and yellow, green and yellow. I put it down, representing for my team. I'm in green and yellow, green and yellow, green and yellow, green and yellow. Midnight green, more like midnight tears. Y'all been crying for 50 years. Super Bowl dreams, that was one night. Packers making history, y'all a highlight. We've weathered storms, but our pride runs true. Now it's Philly's turn, let's see what y'all can do. From Vince Lombardi to now we thrive. Packers legacy, forever alive. Devonta Small can't take the hits. Y'all O-line strong, but we still bring blitz. Cheese melts strong, Philly melts down. Green Bay's the name that runs this town. Go Pack Go. Go Pack Go. We yelling Go Pack Go. This ain't a diss song, just telling the truth. Yeah, that's the squad with the big G's on the helmet. You know what it is. Oh yeah. Packernet Podcast, baby.